Welcome back to another episode of the Me in the Making podcast. I am your host, Melly Clay, and thank you all for joining me. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for clicking that link. Thank you for sharing this with your friends and families. I really appreciate it. And yeah, this is a show about self-discovery, about learning more about yourself, about introspection. It's about taking that journey that your personal journey, essentially, and learning more about yourself, how you relate to others, what others do that might impact you, and just, like kind of how you're moving through society. And when I say you, I also mean me. So we're both in this together and we are learning and growing every day. Every day we are becoming. And I think that that is a beautiful thing. It's one of the best things that we can do for ourselves is to continue to be curious, continue to learn and grow and be in conversation with each other. So this is me being in conversation with you all. So please comment here on YouTube, comment on Spotify. You can share with others, and I would love to hear feedback and just hear from you. Like, what are your journeys? Maybe you would like to be a guest on the show. I will be having guests this season. So far, I have done solo episodes where I'm speaking about my journey, but seasons one and two were mainly guests where I'm speaking with them about their journeys, who they were when they were little kids, who they are now, and kind of what's been their journey throughout and what have they learned from that and who are they becoming as they continue to live their lives. So, yeah, this is me in the making. And if you are listening to this on an audio podcast app, but you would like to watch on video, please join me on YouTube at Making Me Pod, and I'll be here. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about friendship and something that I've been noticing with my friendships as I have gotten older. I've kind of been reflecting on like, basically who I was when I was in my teens and 20s and those types of friendships that I had versus now that I'm in my 40s, like what do my friendships look like? And if you know me personally, you would know that I am a massive extrovert. I love to be around people. I get a lot of my energy from being around people, and I have the best time getting to learn about people, hearing about their experiences. It's one of the reasons why I even created this podcast was because I'm a little bit nosy, but hopefully not in an annoying way, but I'm curious to hear other people's life stories and just like who they are, what they're doing, what they're up to, different interests, etc. So I'm a big extrovert. And in my 20s, when I went to college, I made a lot of friends. I worked at the rec center on campus. So that was an avenue where I was able to meet a lot of different people, like my coworkers and also the other students who would come into the rec center to work out or play intramural sports. I also worked at Express. Is Express still around? I was about to say RIP, but I think maybe they just closed some stores. I think they're still around. But I used to work at Express near campus, and some of those friends, some of those people who I met at the rec center, I would see coming into Express on like Thursday or Friday afternoon, and they were looking for going out clothes and everything, and just like meeting those coworkers there who worked at Express. Maybe they didn't go to the school where I went, but we were all pretty much around the same age and we would just have a good time. So I would say that I made a good amount of friends there. And then I eventually moved to Chicago and I met friends at church. I met friends at work and just doing various things here in Chicago. I think Chicago is a wonderful city and a great place to meet people. Um, because there's always something to do. People are always going out to do something, or go see a comedy show, or go play darts, or whatever it is. Like there's always an opportunity to go out and meet people if that is something that you're trying to do. So in my 20s, I moved to Chicago when I was in my 20s. So I continued to make friends and put myself out there and do different things to kind of like foster these relationships, but they were on some sort of level, they were generally like surface level, I would say. If I look back at all of my friendships to kind of study the depth of them, I would say it was probably like 80% surface level with friends, and then maybe 20% like deep connections, deep friendships that could stand the test of time. So yeah, in my 20s, early 30s, I would say I was forming friendships and I thought they were deep at the time. Like I thought it's like, oh, this is what it means to be a really good friend. And I think on some level it was, to my extent and my depth of knowledge, like that was being a good friend, like, oh, I'll go and socialize with these people. I'll go out and we'll talk about, work to some extent. We'll talk about romantic relationships to some extent, but I don't remember really getting deep into more than that, I guess, like beyond only talking about who you're dating or only talking about school or work, but kind of like beyond those things, like getting more into, why does dating this person make you feel this way? Not to say that I'm currently doing that in my friendships, but we just get into deeper discussions, I think, and we also get into more political discussions and religious discussions, things that that I wasn't really talking about with my friends back when I was in my 20s and early 30s. Like those things, I think on some level, I was like, oh, well, everyone kind of thinks the same way that I think. So there's not really a lot to discuss. But as things in this world and in this country have become just more, we have been seeing a lot more. We're being exposed to a lot more because more things I feel like are happening at a bigger scale, but also we're seeing it a lot more because of the internet. So we have access to seeing a lot more things. Like a lot of things cannot be swept under the rug as maybe they had been in the past. So we're seeing a lot of that stuff. So a lot of those things are going to impact your friendships because you might start talking about these things. Like it might not just be, let's go to brunch and have some drinks and then go to the next spot, have some drinks and just talk about, sports or boys, like we're starting to talk, we meaning me and my friends, we're starting to talk a little bit more about deeper things, I would say. So in my 20s, it was like, oh, this is fun. Like if these set of friends don't really want to go out, I'll go out with this other set of friends, and we'll have a great time, or like just seeing who's available kind of thing. But now in my 40s, I do go out, but it's the focus isn't necessarily let's be outside all the time, even though we are outside. This past summer has been a lovely, lovely time, I will say. But I guess what I'm trying to say is the venues where we're going are a little bit different. Maybe they're a little bit more low key, or we're going to see live music versus going to a dive bar and drinking the night away, or, those types of things. Like we're talking about more stuff. Like maybe in my 20s, I was going to listen to music, but we weren't really talking about what is this musician saying or like what's in the music or what are they making me feel like or even like analyzing the songs and the writing, the lyrics, etc., etc. Like I'm doing that more as I've gotten older, and they have become more enriching. Like my friendships have become a lot more enriching to me. Um, and in my 20s, I didn't think that I needed that stuff. Like I think it was more along the lines of, oh, I didn't even know that relationships could go deeper. And then you just start to realize, oh, I enjoy this. Like I like to learn more about what people are thinking and what they're doing. And for me, as I'm getting older, I kind of wish that I did have those experiences when I was in my 20s, but maybe that's just not how it was gonna go down. Like I think now I'm indulging in it more because I realize, oh, this is something that I never knew I was missing, and I am missing that, and now I want to dive deeper, getting to know my friends better. So I wonder, like kind of how you all are thinking about your friendships nowadays, how you're approaching them, especially after COVID, like, well, after the lockdown, I should say, and the pandemic, like how are you thinking about your friendships nowadays? Like what has changed versus the way you approach your friendships before? How are you approaching them now? Like are you I've become, I think, a little bit more intentional in seeing friends, hanging out with them, but also the friends where we just weren't gonna make it, we've like those friendships have fallen by the wayside. And if you've listened to season one, I'm sorry, season two, episode one, that's where I'm talking to Tech A about my life experiences and kind of like dealing with some people who are in my life who I thought we were better friends. But reflecting upon it, I'm realizing, oh, there were a lot of things that we actually didn't speak about. There were things that I was thinking about and dealing with that I never really broached, but I had tried to broach those subjects. But those subjects were not being, like, people were not engaging with me in those subjects. So I would stop speaking about them. And those microaggressions, because they were related to my race, I eventually was like, I can't keep doing this, I I am going to continue to stifle myself if I don't actually remove myself from this situation. So with some of those friends, former friends, where I thought we were more linked and I was thinking these are going to be lifelong friends, even if we're not still going to be in the same city or something. I was thinking I will be able to call on these people forever. And I think that was my naivety, like not really understanding that we did not have as deep a friendship as I thought. And this was when I was in my like mid to late 30s. And even then, like I really didn't know. And I won't say just because you're getting older, you are going to become wiser. But I think as you get older, what has worked for me is to be more introspective and seeing what are the things that I need in order to move forward and like hold, like keep myself afloat, like not dealing with people who are not able to see where I'm coming from. And for us to even have a conversation, like they don't even have to agree necessarily, depending on what we're talking about. But for people to be able to see where you're coming from and be empathetic, like that, those are the people who I want in my life. And we can actually have a deeper conversation beyond, oh, what did you do today? Or like, oh, did you watch the baseball game or whatever? Like to talk about more than those things. And when what year was it? I want to say maybe 2018, 2019, especially in 2020 when I was sitting at home alone after like at the beginning of the lockdown. And I was like, you know what, God, I want more Black women friends. I want more Black women friends, more people who look like me, maybe have had some of the same experiences as I have had. And I would like more of those friends. Because in my 30s, I did have some really amazing Black women in my life, including my sisters. But friendship wise, I wanted more. Like I had experienced really good friendships with those people, and I'm like, well, the odds that I'll have even better relationships with more Black women, that would be great. And so like I got my wish. My prayer was answered. And just from that, like seeing that and how I've been able to connect with those people has been really beneficial to me because I'm seeing, oh, I can go deeper. I can go deeper with, with these friends. And they've also helped me with my relationships with my non-black friends, like to feel more secure about myself, about speaking up about what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, etc. That has really clarified a lot of things for me in my friendships with people across the board, regardless of race or gender. Like it's helped me to open myself up more and also be unapologetic about my thoughts and feelings. So that's kind of how my friendships have been evolving. We're going a little bit deeper. Don't have as many friends as I used to have. I don't have as many, I guess, acquaintances, maybe if I really distill those friendships down, maybe they were more like acquaintances. And I didn't realize that in my 20s and 30s because I thought that's what friendship was. And I think to some extent, like if you are in your 20s and 30s and maybe some of the things that I'm saying are kind of ringing true for you as you think back on your current friendships, that's fine. Like I think that is a really good journey to go on to think to just be more curious about your friendships and like, okay, what do I want to get out of my friendships? What do I want from other people? What do I hope people are able to get from me? Like, how am I showing up in this community? And like moving ahead with those things that you're thinking about. Like, I'm not saying go to your friends and be like, you know what? We really don't talk about anything, so we're not friends anymore. Maybe those people want to talk about more things and they just think culturally within that friend group or as far as they've gone, you haven't really been able to like foster those deeper conversations, but maybe they want to, like maybe this can be your chance to talk about something that you've been thinking about. Maybe you want to be a little bit more vulnerable and see maybe someone else can relate to this, or maybe we can have a conversation about this, or like who knows? Like it could be something you're dealing with your family, or it could be something you're dealing with at work that's beyond, I'm slammed at work and I'm really busy. Like maybe you could talk more about how it's making you feel, etc., and seeing who's going to show up for you, who you can show up for, and you can foster better relationships that way. Because friendships are like they're really everything. Like as for me, as someone who's been single for a while, friendships have really helped me through a lot. Um, and I don't know if I would say, well, yeah, I would say this. I would say that friendships are like they mean more to me than romantic relationships because they are going to really like carry you through, I feel like regardless of what is going on in your life. Not that I'm pitting relate platonic friendships versus romantic relationships, but I just think that in our society the focus a lot of times is on romantic relationships and we're not really thinking about the community that our platonic friendships can really foster. And that's something that I want us to think about and really like dive into, you know? Um, so for my next segment, I call this Pod Corner, and this is a segment where I recommend a podcast to you all because I love listening to podcasts. I've been doing it for, I don't even know, over a decade or so, and they have just become my little friends, speaking of friends. And I just really enjoy listening to them diving deep, and there is this podcast that I want to recommend. It's actually a dating podcast. But it's called Why Won't You Date Me? And the host is Nicole Byer, the comedian, the actor. And it used to be about, like she's looking for love, what's going on, why can't I find someone to date me romantically, basically to be in a relationship with me. But now it has morphed, and I think she's kind of on the same wavelength that I'm kind of on when it comes to friendships versus romantic relationships. Um, like really diving into her friendships. And she has guests on the show. She talks about if they're in relationships, how they met their person, where they are now, et cetera, et cetera. It's a fun time. It's a comedy podcast. It's not as serious as I'm making it seem. It's a comedy podcast. But she just has a really good time like talking to these different people and sharing a little bit about her life and her journey and her relationships and everything. And it's a fun time. So listen to it, subscribe. It's called Why Won't You Date Me? And it's a lot of fun. But thank you all again for watching, for listening. I really appreciate it. Please share with your friends and family. Maybe there's someone who you want to, have a deeper friendship with, and you can share this with them and be like, let's talk. Let's get into it. But yeah, thank you again, and I will see you all next week. Bye. This has been another episode of the Me in the Making podcast. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Tell a friend, tell a family member. We all deserve to grow and change and become our best selves, whatever that might look like to you. And please connect on Instagram at Making Me Pod, on TikTok. You can email me at meli@makingmepod.com. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you want to be a guest on the show. And yeah, I'm just having such a great time. I'm so happy to have been able to launch this video episode for you all, and come again. Bye.